Alright, whatever the gang is back with another video, man, and we got another reaction. Today we got the NBA basketball that was hated by every player. Now I do definitely know, I think like in the early 2000s, I mean I was only born in 2000. It was like a plastic ball. Like I don't know if you guys remember that. Like it was like a plasticky kind of ball, like you know, like when N1 used to go crazy. But anyway, man, let's get straight into the video, man. Hope y'all having a great day.
In the 2006-2007 NBA season, David Stern would make one of the most controversial decisions in league history, changing the official basketball for the first time in 35 years. A move that angered the entire league.
Professor, we got issues with this ball.
But what led him to this decision? And did you know that the legacy of the new basketball still lives on to this day? This is a story that you have to see to believe. To begin, we must go all the way back to the 1983-1984 NBA season. The 1983-1984 NBA season was a very memorable one for the league. Upon the beginning of the season, Spalding was signed a deal with the NBA to replace Wilson as the official game ball.
Now, Wilson basketballs, man, if you are a hooper, like new Wilson basketballs, or like if you're from Ohio, like the OSHA basketballs, it's like they're Wilson is decent, so I can see why they.
This would be the first brand change to the official NBA ball since the league's inception in 1946. And in February of the same season, David Stern would replace Larry O'Brien as the new NBA commissioner. 2 months after Stern's inauguration would come one of NBA's greatest achievements to date, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar breaking the all-time scoring record.
Oh my goodness. Just easy hook on you. 31,422 points. LeBron has way more, man. It's LeBron.
I don't think this will ever happen again.
As if the league wasn't rising quick enough, 2 months later would come the most iconic draft of all time. In the span of under a year, the league has completely transformed itself. New commissioner, new ball, new all-time scoring leader. Oh, and did I mention new face of the league?
The Chicago Bulls pick Michael Jordan.
Man, they picked Michael Jordan right after changing the basketballs.
Now back to the subject of the new Spalding basketball. This is what it looked like, front and back. Now keep that in mind, because this will be the exact same design outside of a couple font changes for the following 2 decades.
Yeah, facts.
Living through some of the greatest NBA moments. And behind the rise of the NBA is Commissioner David Stern, doing all he can to spread the game internationally and to maintain the game's image. However, everything would come to a crashing halt on November 19th, 2004, as the Detroit Pistons Pacers would engage in the biggest brawl.
The Malice in the Palace. Holy fans and oh my God, fan invited. Oh my goodness, I forgot about this.
Leading Stern
Look at the heat through the beer on him.
Suspension in NBA history. Now the year is 2005. Stern, seeing a problem with the perception of the league that he had worked so hard to uplift, decided to implement one of his most radical changes: the player dress code.
The dress code applies to players at game arenas and while traveling to and from games. Now, consider Richard "Rip" Hamilton. Under the new dress code, he would have 3 strikes. He's wearing a medallion outside his clothing. That is a violation.
Hey, dog, they be wearing anything what the heck they want now. So is it like still like a rules and like regulations on what they can wear through the tunnel? Like, are you serious?
Headgear presumably not approved by his team or quote
no
appropriate
headgear
to the event.
I can't wear my do-rag.
A collared dress shirt or turtleneck.
Though this was a very controversial move, the NBA Players Union was consulted on the decision. In the 2006 NBA Finals, the Miami Heat would come back from a 2-0 deficit to defeat the Mavericks to win their first ever championship. This would be one of the most controversial finals ever because of the allegations of rigging from Mavericks owner Mark Cuban.
Dwayne Wade starts driving to the hoop every little touch, 2 shots, 2 shots. He literally, multiple games, shot more free throws than our entire team.
David Stern was equally outraged at Dwayne Wade. No, not because of the officiating, but because of his fashion choices, because of his tights. Yes,
are we serious?
You heard that right. The league was infuriated that their marquee player and potential future face of the league wore what they deemed hoses. Compound that with the media already poking fun about the perception of NBA players in tights. The following year, the league would ban the wearing of compression tights from players.
What?
And unlike the dress code policy, This decision was unilateral, without the consultation of the players' union, a right that the league had because of the collective bargaining agreement allowing the league to alter on-court uniforms. The league believed that players were merely wearing them for the look. A lot of players pushed back and claimed that the tights are for functionality,
they really
not
are
for fashion. The league responded by claiming that any player who wanted to wear tights needed a written request from a doctor.
Oh,
as Stern noticed that pushback against his decisions died down over time, he set upon to make even a greater change. In June of 2006, a mysterious black box would appear on NBA.com with the caption, "Change the way you view the game." Now what's inside the box will change the NBA as we know it forever. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. Everyone is saying that 2025 is going to be
they be saying I look like Ray J anyway, so sponsor get the way.
On June 28th, before the NBA draft, the league would also reveal what was inside the black box. A new basketball. A pretty underwhelming end to an endless sea of online speculation. The ball was advertised as the next step in basketball revolution, a ball that did not need to be broken in, and a consistent basketball that will feel the same and bounce the same regardless of condition and surface, something that couldn't have been said for the traditional leather ball. However, in an article by Mark Stein, the reasoning behind the move seemed far more complicated, as Spalding had been urging the NBA to switch to composite model basketball because they were having trouble securing leather. Spalding would later contend that this was not the reason, and that the real reason was that this was just a better basketball, a sentiment that David Stern echoed. Despite all the optimism,
is that how you make a basketball?
There's one thing that didn't happen. You see, despite the fact that the ball was used in the previous year's All-Star game, the ball was only tested by former players. 3 former players to be exact. Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, and Steve Kerr.
Mark shot his little teardrop. Reggie shot some threes. I mean, we just messed around a little bit for 45 minutes. I really liked it. I liked the feel. I thought it had more grip than the old ball.
I ain't gonna lie, I never knew he did any.
Spalding would send every player in the league a custom ball with their own name engraved on it. Yet, reviews began trickling in, and they were not great.
Steve Nash isn't crazy about it. Wayne Wade.
Yes. That's like in the beginning of the video. That's what I was trying to get to. Like, I know it was Steve Nash who had said something about the basketballs because they already had changed it from like the plastic one I was talking about
early in the year, while Shaq slammed it, saying it felt like, quote, one of those toy balls you buy at the toy store.
Now, despite the fact that the material was used at almost every level of play but the NBA, many players complained. The criticism, it bounced differently and was more slippery, they said.
On opening night, NBA TNT will host a segment where a blindfolded Charles Barkley will attempt to find the best feeling basketball out of a rack. This is what happened.
Okay, so which of those balls would you like to play a game with if you had to play tonight?
This one.
You'd like to play with that ball?
Yes.
Look what you chose.
This is an old NBA ball.
You would, the leather ball.
Now, one of the main concerns about the new ball is how slippery it would get, which begs the question, why was this not detected during testing?
What we didn't do was play in a pickup game. We don't do that anymore. We didn't sweat. We didn't get to the point where we were actually perspiring, and that's been the complaint that I've heard from the players. That once they start sweating, the ball gets slick.
No disrespect to Kenny, Cheryl, Steve, or anybody. They should have got some young guys who are going to run up and down the court to test the ball.
Spalding's vice president for marketing, Dan Tuhey, downplayed the problem and said he guaranteed in 3 weeks the complaints would be forgotten. The National Basketball Players Association was far less enthused, as they've now been alienated from the 2 previous big decisions. This time, they're now investigating the prospect of a protest, saying, quote, "We think both the union and the players should have been consulted." Seeing the displeasure of players, Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, who already held it right with the league, decided to take matters into his own hands, contacting the UT Arlington's physics department to conduct their own test on how the new ball compares to the old. UTA will begin their study on October 14th. The findings will prove that the players were correct. The new ball was much more unpredictable than the old, bouncing 30% more erratically. The findings would also prove that the players were correct in the assessment of the slipperiness of the new ball. Now, one of the main focuses of the new synthetic ball was to maintain the weight through an entire game. That means not absorbing moisture was a priority. But by not absorbing moisture, the moisture actually rises to the surface of the ball, making the ball more slippery.
Yeah, slippery, dog.
Spalding VP Tuhei fought back and argued that the test couldn't be trusted because the old ball must have been more broken in, and all the differences must be attributed to the surface of the floor. However, on November 12, 2006, the erratic bounce of the ball will be shown to the world. You see, up until this point, complaints about the ball are strictly from a player's perspective. Now, from an audience perspective, when you're watching it on TV,
we don't
you can't
care.
really tell the difference between, whether it's just a bad turnover.
No, we don't care. We don't care about the ball, bro. Pass the ball and shoot the ball in the
by
damn
the
net.
erratic bounce of a ball, which is what makes this day so significant, as the New Jersey Nets will be in a road game against the Washington Wizards. Down 3, this is what happens.
Here's Carter for the tie. Yes!
That would have pissed me off. You hit that thing, though.
When asked if his shot would have gone in with a leather ball, Carter's response, heck no. No way. Unlike the dress code, the controversy would just continue to grow as the season wore on.
Players complain about it a little bit, so they switch the balls, which they never did with the leather ball unless something happened to it.
But it's one thing to dislike the ball functionally speaking. There's also another problem on the rise. Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, Dirk Nowitzki reportedly all claim that they've gotten cuts all over their hands because of the new ball.
Even Steve Nash, who I talked to on Friday, says the ball just tears his fingers up, the new ball.
When Spalding was asked to respond, this time they declined to comment. In a blog post by Mark Cuban, the owner hypothesized that shooters love the ball because of the dead bounce on the rim, and playmakers who rely on the bounce of the ball to make split-second decisions.
Look at Gabriel Ronaldo been Saudi.
And underneath all of this drama, there's even another problem rising. As anxiety with the new ball is at an all-time high, the NBA had also issued a zero-tolerance policy, cracking down on players' complaints on the court. The NBA that season would see a 46% increase in technical fouls. Player frustration was now at an all-time high.
Yeah, bro.
With players like Antonio Daniels even saying,
"Who the fuck?"
You never want to feel that the NBA is a dictatorship. All this came to a boiling point on December 1st, 2006, as the Players Union officially files 2 unfair labor practice charges against the league.
Yeah, like, just imagine, bro, you're part of a union job, bro, and they do something without even consulting you or telling you that this is about to happen with your schedule or this is that. Like, bro.
David Stern finally takes a step back.
Yeah.
Well, the players don't like it, and NBA Commissioner David Stern admits he probably should have talked to them before introducing it.
Oh.
The we're talking about is the league's new basketball.
On December 11th, David Stern concedes and announces that the NBA will be going back to the leather ball starting January 1st.
Real is real, these niggas tried to cut costs. That's just all it really is. It's about the bread, bro. It's not about, oh, it's better basketball. No, bro, they wasn't looking out for the players. Trust me.
Against Sacramento, they go back to the leather ball.
But not without some pettiness. Stern would say, although testing performed by Spalding and the NBA demonstrated that the new basketball was more consistent than leather, and statistically there has been an improvement in shooting, scoring, and turnovers, the most important statistic is the view of our players. The players' reception was actually kind of mixed.
I really thought definitely after this season it was going to be changed.
Luau, gang, dog. What happened to Luau, bro?
But,
he was nice.
I mean, I guess a lot of guys were complaining about it.
Los Angeles Lakers head coach Phil Jackson telling the media, without harping on it, I'm glad the commissioner is at least capable of being changeable, as President Bush is on his stance on Iraq.
But I mean, I think a lot of people got used to it.
They didn't got my man as a name tag.
You know, I don't think it was that much of an issue anymore.
No, I never really paid that much attention to it.
Damn, hey man, I still be, man, I don't know where Delonte at, man, but like long time Cleveland fan, man. The fact that you're wearing the damn Celtics jersey is really about to make me throw up, but we just gonna let you pass on that. But man, what's going on with Delonte, bro?
I'm a player, Greg. And I just play with whatever they put. We're gonna play with a sock, we're gonna play with a sock.
Despite the NBA going back to the old ball to finish the season, the following 2007-2008 NBA season would see the league invent a new leather ball, implementing the design of the synthetic ball onto the old leather basketball.
That's smart.
A new old ball. This iteration of the basketball will be in play for the remainder of the David Stern tenure, living through some of the most memorable NBA moments. On May 13th, 2020, the NBA announced that they would be ending their partnership with Spalding and Wilson, starting from the 2021-2022 NBA season, will become the official NBA basketball.
So it's back Wilson,
once again. Outside of the different logo, the design of the ball has remained pretty much the same, meaning that the legacy of the synthetic ball is still very much alive. Just like when the Spalding ball got introduced, in only the second season with the new basketball, a new all-time scoring leader will be introduced.
New all-time scorer. We're talking about LeBron.
An uprising commissioner, a new ball,
LeBron, you about to cry.
A new all-time scoring leader, and the new face of the league? Well, only time will tell.
Hey, man. This is a good video, man. Shout out to Woo Hoops. We Hoop. First time out now. Nah, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, man, make sure you guys leave me a thumbs up, subscribe. If you're new, man, comment down below any videos you want me to react to next. I'm still uploading tonight. You're going to see it the same day. But other than that, man, have a great night. Be safe out there, man. It's Friday. Don't go kick it too hard, man. Make sure you be able to come home to your shorty, man. But other than that, Zay out. Peace.